In this video, I'm gonna show you how to invest $100 9 ways. What is up, everyone? My name is David. I remember the first time when I looked into investing $100, and to be honest, I had no idea how to do it. I thought the only way to do it was to put it into a savings account, which turns out to be a horrible idea, and I didn't really stick to it because the interest rate was so low that I just gave up before I even started. And you would have thought that as a finance student, they will teach you how to manage your own personal finances.
But no, they taught me how to make other people richer.
So in this video, I'm gonna show you 9 different ways to invest $100. And the fourth one is my own personal hack that I haven't shared with anyone yet. Don't worry, I've only included items that are the most practical and you can do them straight away after watching this video. So without further ado, let's go. This brings me to the first way of investing $100, which is courses. No, I'm not talking about those.
Give me 43 seconds and let me teach you how to sell something online or how to create your own dream lifestyle type courses.
I am talking about the really practical courses that will expand on your expertise, making you more employable and efficient. The bottom line is when you become more employable and efficient, you're able to bring more value to the company. So as you bring more value to the company, it makes sense to pay you more instead of trying to hire other people into the business to make the business more efficient. And trust me, hiring is such a tiring process. You have to recruit people, you have to see the applications, you have to filter. Look,
it's just a massive headache and it's very incredibly expensive.
Plus, the money that you invest into courses is never lost. Because you're investing in yourself, that knowledge stays with you for the rest of your life. Knowledge. Making this one of the best ways to invest $100. So when I got my first job as a digital marketer in 2017, Facebook ads was predominantly my main role. I was very lucky in the sense that I was trained by some really gangster people in that. So I would say that my Facebook ad game is pretty fly. But because I was at a company that received outside funding, using Facebook ads alone, we weren't growing fast enough. And because of that, we looked outside of Facebook to see if there are any other opportunities. And it turns out that there is a big pool of people on Google searching for what we sell. And that immediately became a mission critical objective for the business. And at the time, I had no idea how to manage Google Ads alone. And to be honest, I don't even know where to start. The only way I know where to start is either by Googling it or YouTubing it. And back in 2017, the deep dive courses wasn't that accessible. So what I decided to do is invest that $100 into Udemy courses that will teach me how to do Google Ads. And the whole thinking around that is if I just had someone more experienced taking me through Google Ads step by step, I will actually be useful to the business that I'm currently in. And that's what I meant by practical courses. And before we move on to the next point, I think it's important for me to mention that it's not about doing as many different courses as possible. If you don't apply the things I was taught in the online course, the knowledge is still not yours. It's about applying the things that was learned into a real life scenario so that the knowledge in the course becomes yours. So don't do a lot of different courses. Just think about what you want to improve on and see if there's any courses within Udemy or other places that will expand on that expertise so that you can actually add more value to the business. So I'll mention a couple places to get courses under $100. Code Academy is my go-to under $100 for engineering related courses. Udemy is my go-to when it comes to marketing related courses under $100. Now, on the topic of spending time with people more experienced than you are in a particular field and meeting new people, paid events and workshop is an incredible way of investing $100. In my experience, the best way to find paid events or workshops around you, Eventbrite or meetups. Meetups are essentially locally held events around a particular theme. There are cooking meetups, there is digital marketing meetups, there is engineering meetups. There is basically a meetup for every topic under the sun. Now, if you can't find a topic that you want to learn from and there's no meetup around that, you can actually start a meetup yourself. And I'll explain that a little bit in just a second because it's one of my personal hacks. Now, because I'm Asian, you know I don't want to pay for anything. And I love myself some free stuff.
Oh, no.
So meetups are mostly free. And time to time they are paid, but they're very low fees, anywhere between $10 to $20. Now in my case, when I first started out my career as a digital marketer, I went to a lot of free meetups and paid meetups to meet with brand new people, as well as listen to talks of how other people are tackling a similar marketing problem in their business. Now Eventbrite is mostly focused on paid workshops and events, and it's very easy. You just search for the things that you want to learn, and it will show you a list of workshops and events that is around that topic. Now, these events and workshops are typically more expensive than meetups. And so this is a really good way to look for a more detailed and a more structured workshop and paid event on that thing that you want to learn. Now, I want to mention one last thing in terms of how you can find really good events around you, because sometimes these events and workshops are not really advertised, and that's Facebook groups. Within every city, within every country, there's usually a Facebook group that's around that particular topic. Now, for us in Sydney here, there's a group called Sydney Startups. It's a Facebook group where a lot of startup founders and marketers and engineers are in. And a lot of people share their events on Facebook group without sharing it in other places. So that's one of the ways that I've found events without going on to meetup or Eventbrite. Similarly for you, you have to ask yourself and search on Facebook group as well that, hey, is there any potential Facebook groups that you should be joining that's local to you? So yes, building on the point of spending more time with people more experienced than you are and learning something new, paid events is an incredible way of investing $100.
I know my nose is red, it's really itchy, I can't help it, so bear with me.
Now this brings me to number 3. Don't ask me why I didn't do the normal number 3 because someone behind the camera is encouraging me to be funny. But books. Now books is another way to invest $100. I actually did a video on the best business books that I have ever read, so I will link up somewhere above. Now instead of covering the best business books, here are 5 best books under $100 that I have ever read. So this is my opinion and take it with a grain of salt. So one of the first book I want to recommend is 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. It's not an uncommon book. I'm sure you've heard of that book already, but it's been an incredible read for myself because it has taught me the different habits necessary to move from being dependent on something to independence, be self-sufficient, and then ultimately to interdependence. And that's when you have an organization, you need to work with other people. And you know what they always say, if you want to move fast, you want to go by yourself. And if you want to move far, you want to go with a group of people. It's been an incredible read when it comes to the most effective habits for really successful people. It talks about why it's important and it also talks about how to build it as well, which actually leads me to the next book. And the next book is Atomic Habits by James Clear. Now, Atomic Habits is all about how to go about building a habit. Now, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People talk about the different habits of really successful people, but Atomic Habits is all about how do you build those habits in detail. So James Clear deconstructs the habits into different components and how to tackle each of the different components so that the habits actually stick. Now, I don't know about you, but I know that like when I first started building my habits, I have no idea what I'm doing. So it's all about,
Hey, I want to wake up at 5. I want to go to the gym right after I wake up. I want to meditate and I want to do all these other things that millionaires are supposed to be doing.
but what ends up happening is that I don't stick to any of those and I give up too soon. And Atomic Habits actually give you the step-by-step blueprint on how to create that habit that actually sticks rather than you making a commitment to do so much and don't end up making progress on anything. So Atomic Habits is my go-to when it comes to deconstructing a big habit and building that habit over time. Now, it will be a crime if I don't mention some classics. And one of the first classics I want to mention is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. This book has been an incredible read for me. I actually suck at building relationships and I suck at socializing. I recognized that when I started university, I was just really shy and I didn't really know how to talk to people. So reading was one of the ways for me to overcome some of those hurdles. And that was one of the books that I found on the internet that other people have said that I helped them a lot when it comes to building relationships and socializing. The problem with reading in general is that people get fixated on the sheer quantity of books that you're reading. And what's really interesting for me is that like I had a similar journey in the sense that it was all about the number of books that I can read. But then what I realized over time is, especially with something like How to Win Friends and Influence People, it's about taking the smaller concepts within the book and applying in real life scenario. And you want to see what works for you and what doesn't work for you. It honestly has been one of the best investments I've ever put into myself. And I want to leave you with some quotes when it comes to how to win friends and influence people that have really impacted me. And this is one of them. Talk to someone about themselves and they'll listen for hours. Action speaks louder than words. And a smile says, I like you. You make me happy and I'm glad to see you. I know that with some of these videos, I could smile a little bit more and trust me, I am trying, but the point I'm trying to make here is that How to Win Friends and Influence People has been an incredible book investment in my life, and I'm hoping that I can share that with you as well. And the second classic I want to mention is Think and Grow Rich. I'm pretty sure a lot of YouTubers have already mentioned this book, so I don't want to talk too much about it, but it's an incredible read for me as well when it comes to not just rich from a money standpoint, but also how to be rich from a mental standpoint. So of course, it's a classic. I don't want to talk too much about it. I highly recommend you to at least take a look at it. One of the last one I want to mention is Unshakable. It was really eye-opening for me because as a finance student, I was exposed to index funds, but I was never really taught how to invest in index funds. I was taught from a corporate standpoint, not an individual standpoint. The interviews between the Vanguard founders, Warren Buffett, and Tony Robbins, it really just feels more like a one-on-one with Tony Robbins. I've got a lot of value from reading that book, especially financially when it comes to learning how to invest. So I've always recommended this book, and Unshakable is probably one of the better ways to invest that $100 as well. Number 4, this is my personal hack, and that's buying coffee with people you want to learn from. Now, this is my hack in shortcutting my learning process. Experience is an extraordinary teacher, but it doesn't always have to be your experience. I found that when it comes to spending time with other people, I've learned more spending an hour with someone who's extremely experienced than 5 hours of my own learning time. And the other thing is, these professionals, these people want to give back to the community. And one of the better ways to take advantage of that is to invite them out to coffee. And when you invite them out to coffee, they see it as a way for them to give back to the community that brought them up. So take advantage of that. It's actually one of the main reasons how I was able to learn growth marketing so blazing fast, and I became a growth lead with a team of 5 in a span of 2 years. Spending time with other people cut your learning curve down significantly, but getting them out to coffee sometimes can be really, really difficult. So before I share with you the exact blueprint of how I am inviting professionals out to coffee with me, there's some groundwork that you need to do before that. So there's 4 main things. So the first thing is work on your craft. People will know if you put in the time working on your craft. Those professionals that you invite, they need to know that you already put in time on your craft and it's a specific problem that you're stuck at that they can help you with. Second thing is, what do you want to learn from them? Like, what do you need help with? You need to be clear in terms of what it is that you want from them and what it is that you want to learn from them. The worst thing that you can do is go into that coffee conversation and not knowing exactly what you want to learn from them. Sometimes that's okay and that's fine if they're open to it. But most of the time, what I found is that if you're crystal clear in terms of what you want from them, it makes the invitation so much easier. And number 3, you need to find the top 5 people on LinkedIn that can ultimately teach you what you want to learn. Now, if you want me to show you exactly how to do that, say yes in the comments below, and I will, and depending on how many people say yes, I'll create a full video on that in my business channel, Stage Show Marketing. And the last question of the groundwork is, who do you know that's connected to that 5 people? Do you know any family or friends who's personally connected to them? Because referrals are always the easiest way to invite them to have coffee with you. Okay, so granted that you've done the groundwork, this is how I approach the professionals that I want to learn from. Now, I already mentioned referrals, so I'm not going to talk too much about that. Now, this is my hack. I use occasions or speaking engagements to invite them out to coffees with me. Now, remember in point 2, I said that paid events is one of the better ways of investing $100. And if there isn't a meetup that is relevant to the topic that you want to learn from, you should start your own. And this is where starting your own meetup can be incredibly powerful. I found that if I just cold email them or cold message them, the likelihood of them responding to that message is not as high if I'm doing outreach to invite them to a speaking engagement. So in my experience, I started a meetup called Growth Professionals Australia. And to be honest, it was incredibly selfish when I first started it because I was in a startup and I wanted to learn more from growth people. And one of the best way to learn from them is to speak with them and spend time with them. And when it comes to the meetup events, I pick topics that I want to learn from personally first. It's really selfish, but what ended up happening was, even though it was selfish, there was a lot of people who were also interested in what I was interested in. So I built the meetups for myself, but then along the way, I realized that a lot of other people are also interested. So meetups was an incredible way for me to meet these people, and the chances of you getting turned down is very, very low. Especially if you're doing outreach to say that like, hey, I have an event that I want to talk about this topic that you want to learn from, and you're one of the best candidates that I thought of, and I would love to have a chat with you over coffee first to see if you're interested, something like that. Over time, I realized that meetups were really labor intensive, and what ended up happening is we transitioned from meetups into podcasts. So if you're interested in my podcast, it's called Stage Show Podcast. I'll leave a link in the description below if you're interested. It's all about growing your business and growth marketing in general. And if you look at the list of people that I have, it's literally a list of people that I want to learn from. And every single person is a very specific topic that I want to learn from. I've used podcasts as a way for me to invite people that I want to learn from out to coffee and have a full hour conversation with them. And it's been an incredible learning journey. So if you want to know the exact message that I send to these guests of how I'm inviting them out to coffee before they accept to be a podcast guest, I've actually talked about it in detail in my best business book example. So I'll leave a link right here. Now, the 5th way of investing $100 is investing in your health. So far, I talked a lot about investing $100 to upgrade your skill sets so that you'll be able to earn more in the future. One thing I've never neglected is my health. And you know what they always say, health is wealth. How are you meant to enjoy financial independence if you're not healthy mentally and physically? Well, I mean, someone better call the cops because these babies are totally not allowed in Australia. Look, jokes aside, it goes without saying that investing in your health will have an order of magnitude in your earning capabilities and your relationships. If you're curious, I've invested $100 into gym memberships and meditation apps for the last 5 years. And the return, a masterpiece body and a calm mind in stressful situations. So number 6, roundup apps. We spend a lot of time talking about investing in courses, paid events, and spending time with people to upgrade your skill sets so that you can earn more in the future. I think it's important to also talk about how you can invest that $100 into the share market as well. Now, when it comes to investing with $100, especially in Australia, there's actually a minimum investment amount when you purchase shares off the Australian Stock Exchange. That might be the case for you as well, so make sure you do your own research to see if there is a minimum investment amount. Now, because there isn't a minimum investment amount for me at the time, Roundup Apps was my choice when it comes to investing that into the share market. I didn't want to spend a lot of time researching individual stocks because that wouldn't have helped me anyway, because I need to buy $500 worth of stocks instead of just investing in $100. So Roundup Apps was one of the easiest way for me to stick to that habit of investing in the share market, as well as allowing me to invest if I just have $100. So really easy to start. Now, I'm not sponsored by any investment apps. This is just purely my own personal experience, but this is how Roundup apps work. When you first sign up to a Roundup app like Acorns, Raise, or some of the other options out there, you connect your bank account with the app. And then what happens after that is that you choose your spending account. And when you choose your spending account, the app will automatically round up your purchases to the nearest dollar. And once those roundups have reached a certain threshold, the app will automatically invest that money for you. And on top of the roundups, you can actually also choose a recurring investment plan, meaning you can deposit $5 every week, every day, or even every month, and they will automatically invest that for you as well. Before they invest that money for you, you have to choose an investment option. Now, the investment options are dependent on your risk appetite. The higher your risk appetite, the more you'll be exposed to riskier assets like shares. And the lower your risk appetite, the more you'll be exposed to safer assets like term deposits or government bonds. Now, if you're interested in government bonds, I've actually talked about it in my passive income video, which I will also link here. All investment options will be diversified portfolios consisting of different exchange traded funds quoted in the Australian Stock Exchange. Now, this might be a little different if you're using a different app in a different country, but the principle is the same. You can withdraw the money whenever you want, and there's usually a flat fee if the amount is below a certain threshold, and it's usually a percentage fee if the amount that you've invested is above a certain threshold. I just use Roundup Apps as a really easy way to get started at the time because I only really had $100 and I wanted to consistently do it. So at the time, Roundup Apps was the best option for me to build my habit of investing in the share market. But I think it's also worthwhile to let you know that I'm no longer using Roundup Apps because I wanted more control in terms of where and how I am building my portfolios. Again, I am not sponsored by any of the investment apps I mentioned. It's just my own personal experience. Please do your own due diligence in understanding the different apps. And if you need to consult a professional, you should, because I am not a professional. So the seventh way of investing $100 is paying off your debt. The most commonly asked question when it comes to that is, when should you prioritize debt payments and when should you prioritize savings and investments? So I'm not talking about not paying off your debts. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that should you put that $100 towards your debts so that you're reducing the amount of interest that you have to pay? Or should you put that $100 towards investments? Well, the thing is, it depends on what kind of debt you have. And if you have high interest credit card debts, then I would personally recommend you to look into reducing that. I never carry a balance, by the way, on my credit cards. I always pay off all my credit card debt at the end of that month. So I never carry a balance. There's no interest payments on my credit card. By reducing your high interest rate credit card owed balance, you'll reduce the interest payments that you have to pay per month. And frankly, that will give you a bigger financial relief than you're gonna get from putting that money towards investments. If the debt is of a different kind and lower interest rate, I will take that into account as well and think about it a little differently. But the principle here is that if you have high interest rate credit card debt, then I would highly recommend you to look into that and think about whether you want to put that $100 towards the debt to reduce the amount of interest payments that you have to make per month. Now, the eighth way of investing $100 is starting a business. Now you really don't need much to start a business. For me, if you watch my top 7 things not to do when starting a business, then you know that it cost me $0 to start a business. If you're interested in that video, it's right here. When you're starting a business, if you need a website, you can invest that $100 towards something like Squarespace, where you can build a beautiful site within minutes. If you need business cards, you can use Canva to do your designs and then print it off using Canva as well. The incredible thing when it comes to investing $100 towards starting your own business is that the downside is very limited. The downside is your time, really, and potentially the opportunity cost of, spending time doing other things. But the good thing is the upside is unlimited. However much you make as a business, especially if you're a sole trader, you get all of it. So the downside is limited. However much time you choose to invest in your business, it's all capped up to the point of what you choose to invest in it. But the upside of that is absolutely unlimited. If a contract is worth $10,000, that $10,000 is all yours. A business is just another incredible way to invest $100. Now, one of the last ways to invest $100 is peer-to-peer lending. I didn't feel like it was complete if I didn't mention it. I just want to at least mention it. I also want you to know that like I'm currently not invested in peer-to-peer lending, but it's one of the ways that's often talked about, and I at least want you to be aware of it. Now, peer-to-peer lending very simply just means that you invest that $100 into a peer-to-peer lending platform, and you get to choose profile of risk that you're willing to expose that $100 to. So whether that is a high risk person or a low risk person. After you invest that money with that platform, the platform will either match you with someone with the risk profile that you've chosen, or you get to choose the loan individually. It's relatively easy when it comes to investing $100 into a peer-to-peer lending platform. But there are some general requirements that you must be 18, and some platforms actually require you to be sophisticated investors or institutional investors. Make sure you do your research in terms of understanding whether the platform will allow individual investors or whether they require you to be institutional or sophisticated investors. Nonetheless, I just wanted to mention this option because it just wouldn't be complete if I don't mention it. Thank you for watching this video all the way to the end. As usual, if you learned something brand new from this video, I really appreciate it, and it means a lot to me if you can smash and destroy that like button. It gives the YouTube algorithm the right fuel to push my video out to the wild. And make sure you subscribe to my channel for more videos like these. And because you stay all the way to the end, I have a couple more bonus points that I want to mention. But these are not how to invest $100. These are how not to invest $100. Now, the first one is gambling. If you just had $100, I think there are more fruitful ways of investing that $100, and I don't think gambling is the way to go. The second thing is get rich quick type schemes. If it sounds too good to be true, it's probably too good to be true. And that $100 can be spent on getting a better education or courses that will expand your skill set so that you can earn that next $100 faster. Number 3, penny stocks. Now, the thing with penny stocks is that it's highly volatile. If you're gonna put that money towards penny stocks, just don't expect that money to come back. And again, I think that there's more productive and fruitful way of investing $100. And if I just had $100, penny stock is not something that I'll invest in. The fourth thing and the final thing is buying things that you don't need. If you just had $100 to invest, put it towards something that will help your future self become better. Instead of buying new clothes or this or that thing that you don't really need, you can really save that money and put it towards something that will generate you money instead. Now, if you're interested in how to generate money passively, I've created a separate video on that, which is right here. Thank you again for watching this video all the way to the end. I really appreciate it. And until next time, see you soon.